同时也带来了一些这个自行车的链条和滚珠，以及我可能想到的一些可以用到的一些个与自行车有关的零件。
He also brought some chains from Beijing and some cogs. He was thinking about trying to use them here to integrate them here with the Australian bikes.
我最担心的问题就是，我在中国制造的这些零件能不能跟澳大利亚的自行车完美的结合在一起。
The thing that concerned him most was whether or not the pieces that he made made in China and other pieces like the chains that he brought with him, whether they would be compatible with the Australian bikes.
管方给我介绍了这个澳大利亚的自行车的情况，主要是变速车，给我花了很多的传真。
The gallery, because the bikes he needed were geared bikes, so the gallery found for him many geared bikes and did a lot of advertising around to get geared bikes here for his work.
有一份传真还开玩笑说，他们也担心这个资本主义的自行车能不能跟社会主义的零件结合在一起。
And then there's a joke that whether or not the capitalist bikes would be able to be integrated with the socialist parts.
来到这里以后，确实是看到这些自行车呢，跟中国的自行车有很多相同的地方，也有很多不同之处。
So the bikes here in Australia, there's a lot of similarities, a lot of parts are the same as Chinese bikes, but there are also lots of differences.
但是我还是用了我在中国的自行车的经验，也就是社会主义的经验呢，成功的改造了这批资本主义出下的自行车。
He said that, but nevertheless he still managed to integrate the socialist parts with the capitalist bikes, and it's been successful.
我这是开玩笑，不是作品的观念，大家不要受到这个误导。
He said it's just a joke, don't take it too seriously.
现在看来呢，这个自行车改造的过程，我可以向大家介绍一下。
So he's going to just explain to you the process of making bikes.
第一步把这个车呢卸下来，然后把轱辘反过去，把这杆拿下来，把这电盘反过去，把轴拿出来，然后反。
So what he does is he takes off the original gears and he actually turns around the whole back wheel and puts it back in and then fixes on his gears. With this front cog, he does the same thing. He pulls it out. The pedals, the whole armature, he turns around, and the pin that fixes them also has to be taken out and put back in, kind of back to front.
在这个过程当中，我发现这里有几辆车是很老的，比如说有1914年的自行车。
Also, some of the bikes he realized were actually quite old. The oldest one is from 1914.
这种车的这个中间的轴呢，很像北京的自行车。
On the old bike, the casing is actually similar to the bikes in Beijing.
中间的轴这个滚珠呢缺了3个，所以我放进了3个北京的滚珠。
The bearings, there should be 3 and there's only 1 in there, so it was lacking 2 bearings. And so he actually brought some bearings with him from Beijing so he could use them to fix up the bike.
其他的车上也有很多，一段是北京的链条，一段是澳大利亚原来的这个链条。
And the chains on the bikes, they're all partly Australian and partly from Beijing.
每一辆自行车呢都有一个标牌，上面写清楚了是1/20到20/20。
So on the front of each bike, he's made up and stuck on these little stickers. Because there's 20 bikes, so they're numbered like 120, 220 down to 2020. So all the bikes are marked with their numbers on the front.
每一辆说明书对应每一辆自行车对应一个自行车改造说明书，可以通过这个说明书了解这一辆自行车改造以前的历史和有关的记录。
Each bike has its own little manual that is made up with records of the history of the bike, the changes he's made to the bike, so you can have a look.
这些自行车呢是从布里斯本这一地区来的。我想在改造以后呢，通过销售的手段，使它重新回到布里斯本这一地区。
So these bikes are mostly all from Brisbane, and he hopes that in the process he's reformed them and they can be bought by silent auction. And the idea behind that is that he reforms them and they come back to Brisbane in a reconstructed way, reconstructed form.
需要注意的是，需要一提的是，就是这些自行车改造以后呢，它的机械性能发生了变化，那就是向前骑的时候向后走。
After he's reconstructed the bikes, they're technically different. That when you ride them, they don't go forwards. Instead, when you ride them, as you would on a bike, they go backwards.
这个开幕式的时候呢，我和几个澳大利亚朋友呢，骑了一下这个自行车，其中有一位是专业骑自行车的朋友。
On the opening, there was some friends who were riding a bike, Australian friends who were riding a bike, and one of them was from a circus, and he's in the circus he rode all different kinds of bikes.
但是我们都是失败者，我们都没法控制这个自行车，因为我们都在本能的用过去的骑自行车的经验来骑这个自行车。
But none of them was successful. They were all hopeless. They couldn't actually ride the bikes because he said they were all going on their kind of known experience of how a bike should work when you ride it.
而在这种自行车面前呢，过去的经验是全部失效的。
So all your experiences of how to ride a bike are useless. They're no good.
尽管知道这一点，人们还在使用过去的经验，因为过去的经验它已经在人们的脑子中和血液里。
So he said you can't get rid of it. You can't ride these bikes because even if you try to put aside your experience, it's still there in your head, in your body.
所以这个自行车，我在骑它的时候，这个自行车给我的方向和目的，对我来说是具有强制性的。
So when he rides the bikes, the aims, so the direction and aims of riding a bike, when he rides a bike, is kind of compelling to him because it's constantly pushing against that experience.
这些车呢，过去都给很多的骑车的人带到正确的目的和方向，而今天他们能不能还给骑车的人带去正确的目的和方向呢？我是非常值得怀疑的。就是说，这些自行车呢，在改造以前，曾经带着许多的骑车的人去过许多正确的目的和方向。那么在改造以后，它能不能再给人们正确的目的和方向，这是非常值得怀疑的。
So he says that for the bikes, as they were before he's worked on them, when people approach them, they know kind of what they're going to get, what they expect of the bikes. Afterwards, he's doubtful whether or not when people try and ride the bikes, they're going to be satisfied in their goals and the direction in which the bikes are going to take them.
我希望大家有兴趣的话，可以骑一骑。
He hopes that anyone who's interested will be able to ride the bikes and try them out.
顺便做一下广告，我这个自行车呢，如果想买的话呢，可以填这个表格，放到这个箱子里。买车的人呢，可以得到一份与这个车有关的说明书。
Yeah, he's going to do a bit of promotion here. There's a silent auction box, so people can fill out this form, which is a notification of desire to purchase, state a price and put it in the box. If you're successful in buying a bike, you get not only the bike but also a manual to go with it.
从商业的角度讲呢，买这几辆自行车是很合适的，因为在 Brisbane 只有20辆自行车。
It's a good opportunity because there's only 20 of these reform bicycles